Okay, we are. And going to it. Okay. We are still something. Okay. Are we mute a few things? Are we there now? Okay, yes, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Welcome, those of you who are online. Today is January 7th, 2026, and this is Senate Institutions. And we're going to have a relatively brief meeting to talk about our work this session and priorities. And what I'd like to do is hear from you all, and then I will give you what I'm thinking about. I'd like to hear from you first, if you don't mind.
So yeah, and so the rest of you don't know, but over the off session, I was on Joint Information Technology Oversight Committee. And I happen to be the chair of it, and there's more to talk about what it is, but basically a lot of what we did was look at state IT projects, where they are currently, how the process is going, and doing oversight on that. And through some of that, you got updates along the way, and then hear feedback from some folks and come back and look at it again. And that is something I think that this community should be doing. Have ADS in here telling us, and whichever agency is part of the project, and there's a list of them, the higher priorities, and Lisa Galvin, the Joint Fiscal Office IT consultant. She keeps on top of all of these things. And I'm not sure, sometime this week, I think she's going to be giving an overview of the House Energy and Data Infrastructure. Having her do that with us so that we know what they are. And they're similar to like capital projects in terms of very big projects and very high dollar amounts. So that's something I'm hoping to do, and also have ADS kind of talk to us about I'm not sure necessarily about AI, but about their we started hearing about this at the end, what they're doing with the state's data. And essentially they can explain it, but there's a particular structure that they're using. I'm hoping to hear more about that and whether or not that's something the legislature should have some sort of policy about. So those are the two things that top of mind for me.
Perfect.
Although obviously keeping on top of whether the restoration of the battle monument is going, but also with all of the historical projects. I mentioned earlier, Allison mentioning that we haven't been putting a focus on that, and that's a big part of the capital building.
Definitely. Great. Thank you. And then I just want to mention the other committee that you and I were both on was Joint Judiciary.
Yeah.
So that's relevant to this.
Yeah.
Also.
That dealt with corrections as well. There are different parts of
it. Speaking of corrections, I don't think it's a secret that I'm invested in trying to lay the groundwork to find out a place for this women's prison, where I will say, and I may have said this in the last session, I really appreciated Commissioner Manoli's presentation yesterday, because I was not fully vetted on what the situation was in Essex and how that fell through. But we need to find some way to figure out at least the beginning of where we're going with that. That's probably number one. The second thing is the current winter prison, and it's been there dormant since 2017, and nothing has been done. Not for me, because ANR has taken the surrounding area. The only thing that I see is that we can find some housing there. There are entities that I have reached out to, one financial and one developer one business, excuse me, that are interested in helping to move this along. I it just and Senator, I'm sorry, because of your background in real estate, I kind of volunteered you help share with this, so I apologize for blindsiding you with that, but
All good.
oh well.
All good. If the worst thing that happens to me today, I'll be okay.
And the other thing, both Senator Engel and I both have prisons in our districts. And so, we are uniquely, keen of what it takes to get those things through. But for me, those are the two main things, that I think we at least, are we going to solve those two things? This probably not, but at least move it along. So we at least can have some framework of in the next session, none of us may be here, but next session, so they can have something to build.
Sounds good.
I would be echoing some of what Senator Major said. I believe that incarceration is needed. When people violate the rules and laws that we make down here, and if we don't want that to happen, then we need to make less laws. But I also think that there is a balance of not punishment but rehabilitation. I'm saddened that we are 5 or 6 years away from having these women. And I don't think that there should be any less. I think that they're where they need to be. But I'm saddened that they're in the conditions of where they're at. Also that we have been kicking the can down the road for better than 6 years, for a youth facility. We got to get these kids out of the emergency rooms and get them in protective care, to get them off to a better start in the world. Pandemic, created a lot of havoc in people's lives. A lot what they don't talk about is the social aspect of what's happened to them. I'm also a money guy. I want the projects that we have appropriated monies for through the bonding or cash to be done in an effective way. Delay is dollars, and it doesn't make much sense to me to have a lot of delays only to raise costs. Yeah, and but a lot of decisions that I would be willing to make really can't happen until 13 days from now, when I can see the governor's budget and understand what we have for dollars. And because it's easy to say that we can probably prioritize this or that, but if you don't know what you're going to spend, then it's you're wasting your breath. So but yeah, but I would say the biggest thing is I am sad that we're 6 or 7 years away from having a women's facility to let them live in dignity away incarcerated, and I'm very bothered that they don't have a youth facility. It sounds like there's some positive steps in all that direction, but it can't happen fast enough for me.
Thank you.
So I would basically echo the same. I think that, and the other piece of it is the technology piece that has to come along. I mean, some of the state systems are antiquated and need to be updated to improve efficiency. But I definitely agree with Senator Ames. We got to know what you have for money and then try to prioritize things. But certainly, as two previous senators indicated, dealing with the women's prisons got to be one of the high priorities. You can't leave them in the conditions that they're in, or essentially you're just breeding reoccurrence. And I also agree with the youth, and that I attended a forum at one point, and this had nothing to do with where I am here today, but it was clear that one of the problems in this state is drugs are coming into this state and they're using younger people to do that because they know even if they're caught, there's no penalty because we have no place to incarcerate. And so that's another problem we have. And right now, it's going to continue unless we have some way to deal with that.
Okay, and day two, thank you. Terrific. So, I think the priorities have listed are very similar, overlap. I started with IT first. And last year we spent a lot of time on the kids code. We aren't going to spend as much time on external IT this year, but not even nearly what we did because there are just so many other priorities. We'll get an update on kids code and see if we need to make any adjustments. But we will look at data privacy, and we'll do that we'll probably have a joint hearing with the House Committee of Jurisdiction. I hope to have a few joint hearings. I think that's a really helpful way to get things done when we're working with other committees. Yeah,
I'm glad you said that because, it's sometimes we put in a lot of work and I don't want to, and then for it to go to the House and then we butt heads on,
Right.
And so I'm so glad you said that. I mean,
Yeah.
that was thank you.
and I think it's a really good use of our time.
Yeah.
Too, because then we don't duplicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So, and then, but we're going to work on internal systems, which is what Senator Plunkett was talking about too. So, and we'll work it. Those will be our first. Thank you. Our first joint hearings will be with the House Energy and Digital Infrastructure Committee, where we'll talk about we'll begin to talk about these state systems. These state systems are by and large very old systems. We do have a new system in DMV that Commissioner Minoli worked on, and it's working well. So we do have an example of something that's working well in the state. And also with IT, we do need to look at how the state is using data, because when we think about data that the state has, that's data on the residents primarily and the properties of the state. And our systems were developed in a time when there wasn't internet access. So they can be pretty vulnerable, and that's really important data that needs to be protected. So that'll be part of what we do. Capital bill, we're going to start on Fridays. Scott Moore will be here to go over the bill as it is, and just to refresh all of our memories and to introduce a new member. Bonding capabilities, we're going to have the Capital Debt Affordability Committee come in and look at the possibility of changing, extending the time frame if it's appropriate and makes sense to give us some more flexibility and possibly more ability to address issues that the state has. We have so many capital needs. We're seeing that in transportation also. And so I'm kind of using what I learned in transportation here and what I'm doing here in transportation, just again, so that we can just work better.
Yeah.
And corrections, I'm glad that's on everybody's list. Our facilities are not doing what they should be doing. They're being prisons more than corrections. So we have started to hear from the corrections department. The next folks that we'll have are the PRIN, and it's Prison Research Innovation Network. And we heard from them over the summer. And that's a group that, is just now in full force. And they go into the prisons in a very structured, academic way and look at conditions. And, they hear from the members or the incarcerated people and the staff on how things are going. And they ask the same questions at each time so that they can look at how things are changing. And I'll share with, you all, there was a really good report that we received in the Joint Judiciary Committee. I mean, there were a few reports,
Yeah.
but they're really easy to understand at a glance because there are a lot of questions. And then there's a little marker to whether things are getting better or worse and of that component, which I found very helpful. And they're willing to have, they more than willing, they would love to have legislators be part of one of their praying groups. And so I'm looking at one of the or the first 2 Tuesdays in February. I think February 9th was better for you, Senator. Was that?
Yes.
And that would be, if we do it, it would be at the,
Springfield, right?
yeah, Springfield facility. So if others are interested,
Is-
it's not set yet.
Okay, if we can do it, and just as far as timing
Mm-hmm.
goes, if we could do it in the afternoon, if that's possible.
I'll check.
Yeah, see if like
Yeah,
that would be great. I just
okay.
like 3.
Like 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll do my best.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I don't know if they have teams in other prisons. They might have one in Newport. And so if they do, I think that would be a great opportunity for you folks, and I'm willing to go up there too. So I think that'll be really helpful for us to get to see their perspective. And we will have, or I'm talking to Senator Hashim about a joint judiciary meeting, because I think that would be very helpful for us to have, because if you were talking about the young folks and incarceration for drugs, and so those are the kind of things that the judiciary deals with. So I think it would be a helpful meeting, helpful joint hearing. And then we have appointments. Each Senate committee has appointments for folks who are being appointed from the governor or by the governor. And so ours are mostly the Capitol Complex Commission. And so I have a couple of those. There's one of them who I want to speak with, but what we do is if others of you want to be part of that process, you volunteer to take a person and call them and interview them. And I do want to have the Capitol Commission in here and have David Sheets come in and see if we need to make any adjustments or updates, because we haven't looked at that in a long time at their jurisdiction. And so are you familiar with the Capitol? It's a commission that has jurisdiction over, it's basically, a certain area. And there are guidelines for development in that area. And the goal of it is to keep the area around this amazing building consistent and compatible with the State House. So let me see if I think that's all I have. I think we'll have a good balance of things. It'll be a good session. And tomorrow we don't need to have a meeting unless anybody's dying to have a meeting. But
That
tomorrow.
would be a no.
Okay. Yeah, and actually my schedule is once a month, there's a meeting of the regional stormwater utility commission and I'm attending those. But it says the, whatever, tomorrow, the second Thursday of the month.
But then
Yeah.
we would reconvene on Friday, is that the plan?
Yes, that's when, Scott Moore will be.
Okay.
Of course, and I think we're about finished, so,
All right,
okay,
All right.
so, anything else?
Yeah.
We good?
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And if you come up with things and, like, as soon as you have folks who wanna, talk to us about winter,
Yeah,
let me know.
yeah, you know what, I will begin to reach out. I've got, had preliminary meetings with, Massillon Bank, with Montesquieu Hospital, who are interested in the process as well as, so I think it's many stakeholders that we can begin, and it's,
And the town at one point.
yeah, but obviously town's going through
Yeah.
the town manager changeover, so I've got to check to see if that actually came to fruition yet. But yeah, let's see if that we can do that.
Yeah, we have time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Day two. Good.
yeah, point well taken.
And then, do you know of anything Ken, that I missed?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, anything else? All right,
Okay.
well.